The snowbound Rockies, by the light and heat of the campfire, Laramie Sasquatch Miller, keeper of the old ways, one of the winter ones.
You know, this is the kind of situation where hunting smarter, not harder, is the best thing you can do.
Here in the whiteness has come robe season, when venison is what a man needs for food and warmth to survive. And Laramie will honor the traditions in the way he hunts his game. Grain in the skin is what it's called. Just one of the skills he carries with him into the trapping time of prime pelts. For the old-time mountain man, hunting was an extension of his real work, the work of setting traps and capturing and skinning fur bearers to sell at the rendezvous come spring and summer. Just setting a trap was no meal ticket for the mountain man, though. And this is one trap a critter has sprung and run. Free-flowing water, something to which the beaver is constitutionally opposed.
This just shows you how big a worker bees these beavers are. You look at this tree right here. Beaver probably chewed on that for 3 weeks before it finally came down. And then you can look out in the water, and the whole log that's in the water, he stripped every bit of bark off of it. A month's worth of work right there for a beaver, but it's survival. And that's a huge tree.
Little people is what the Indians called the beaver for the elaborate constructions they built. But the little people sometimes took their perverse revenge on the mountain men who trapped them. Warren Angus Ferris and his brigade of mountain men were near famished when they discovered a river plumb full of fat beaver. So their traps brought them not only lush fur, but plenty of meat. They rushed to cook and eat their first meal in days. Soon they were suffering agonizing cramps in their necks, shooting pains, nausea, and convulsions. Little did they know, till later, that the old French trappers had called these waters Rivière Maladie, the poison river. Let's hope Laramie is not trapping on the poison river. Here's one for Laramie to add to his cache of skins. That's a conibear body gripping trap. Instant death for a fur bearer. When a trap is sprung on an animal, the real work begins. Skinning is art as much as craft, and key to having the most saleable pelt or plume to carry to the fur trader. Do it right, and you end up with what they call a blanket beaver, large and fine enough to trade for one Hudson's Bay blanket. The final step is fleshing or flenching, an old Norwegian word for muscle and sweat.
All it is fleshing. A lot of work, a little bit of brain. You just want to get all the fat and meat off that you can before it dries on there.
The mountain men lived off the land by their guns and traps, but they needed to know what they were eating and when not to boast. Among Warren Ferris's stricken party was one who seemed to have escaped the ill effect of the tainted beaver meat and bragged about being a tougher breed of hoss than his partners, who took a decided dim view of his bluster. Soon enough, though, this man was doubled up with even worse torments, throes, and paroxysms, much to the general merriment of his fellow trappers, who ragged him mercilessly about his lofty opinion of himself. And now for Laramie, he hopes he can avoid the fate of the mountain men whose shadows he walks in.
We got something. Look at that thing. That is cool. Look at
that. They are nature's most skilled engineers, and for the free trappers, a kind of soft brown gold that fueled a fashion craze in the Europe of the early 19th century. For enterprising young men in the West, the beaver could be the key to wealth.
You look right here, this is a great example of how them beavers just strip the bark right off the trees. They love to eat the bark. The bark on it is what gives them nutrients. I mean, that tree completely stripped. You look at all the trees that they drop them strategically, whether the limbs be close to the water so that they can drag them in easy, or they're actually laying in the water so that they can just get right to them in the water, because whenever anything happens, they go to the water and they go down deep and go straight to their hut. That's their safety, away from coyotes, bears, whatever might be after them.
Little considered is the damage beaver can do. Damming rivers, killing trees, undermining canal banks. Without trappers to slim their numbers, they could wreak havoc on the land.
You can see we got a real nice beaver run right here. They're moving from the river to this little slough, and they got their hut right here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set a conibear trap over here by the hut, and then I'm gonna set another leg hole trap. Hopefully we can catch two beavers at once. If you look at that right there, you got two safety locks right here that keep your springs held together while you're setting it, and that's your trigger. What happens when the beaver goes through this box, he's gonna trip that trigger and it's gonna come smashing down. Right on his dome. That's one heck of a headache. Okay, what you do, you always want to find these cool little sticks to set your trap with, because if you use sticks with bark on it, then beaver's going to come up and eat your sticks. These sticks, all they're doing is keeping that trap upright so that it doesn't fall over one way or another if the water raises or lowers or whatever might happen. You always want to tie your traps off. It's called a blind set. The beaver's going to be coming in at night. You got your nice little runway. It's kind of barricaded off a little bit with a log on one side. That beaver's going to come in and he'll probably rub right down that log. Well, then he's going to come into that trigger. He's going to hit that trigger and it's going to close. That'll be that. And the last thing you want to do before you leave your trap is turn around and look and make sure you got everything set properly and make sure your safeties are off. You got two safety locks right here. You walk off and forget about the safety. Well, it might close on that beaver, but it ain't gonna kill him, and that's just wasted effort. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take some of this beaver caster and I'm gonna spread it. And you wanna spread it where that beaver's gonna walk right through your trap. So in this instance, there's a log that's laying right here, about 4 foot behind the trap. I'm gonna put some castor on that. All castor is it's the musk scent from a beaver. They got glands, they secrete this castor, it waterproofs their hide, and that's what we're gonna put right here. And all it is kind of a territory scent. A beaver is gonna smell this and he's gonna come check it out. He's gonna wanna see what other beavers are in the area. The reason you wanna put your scent away from the trap a little bit is because you want that beaver to walk through your trap. You don't want him to come sniff your trap, because then it's gonna shut on his nose and more than likely it's not gonna catch him. Yummy.
The leg hold trap is just one of the tools in the arsenal of the mountain man trapper, as we'll see.
Imagine that latching onto your leg.
The little people are builders, and for the mountain men of yesterday and today, they are also a means of making a living that keeps them linked to the land they love and cherish. Not all traps are set by the water, and not all are set for beaver.
This limb right here, how it's kind of angled up, would be a perfect place to set a conibear trap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear all this out that's anywhere close, so if I do catch an animal, regardless of what it is, it can't grab a hold of any of this and pull itself out of the trap. Okay, what I'm going to do now is take my trap, is I'm just gonna dummy set it. That way I know where to put my nails in the tree to hold my trap off the ground. There we go. And you wanna set 4 nails in that tree. And the reason you don't pound your nails in all the way is because we check it. Well, obviously I gotta narrow the gap, make them a little closer. See, I still got a little farther to go. And once you get it set good, set your trigger. And voila. And then what you want to do is you want to put browse around it so that it acts as a tunnel and it keeps snow and everything else off your trigger. He's going to look up like he's looking up to heaven. He's going to see that beaver up there and just want to crawl right up and get it. Get your bait. It's a stanky piece of beaver meat. Well, beaver tail anyway. And you want to put that fairly close to your trap because you don't want that animal crawling around your trap to come up and get the meat. You want him to go right through. So put it right there. And then you got your safety for the trap itself. So when he falls, he hangs there so he can't grab onto anything and crawl away. Now all that's left to do is take your safeties off your trap. We're in the dark timber, so I'm hoping to catch pine marten, bobcat. There's some water close, so coon could be a possibility. You know, any of your otter species, weasel species. Tomorrow, hopefully I have something.
Traps and snares are as ancient as man the hunter, and in a survival situation, they can be fashioned from the natural materials you find on the forest floor.
You know, what I'm making right here is just a different type of deadfall trap. There's many different ways to make any different trap you want. It's kind of like skinning a cat. There's never just one way to do it. The only thing I need to live comfortably in the mountains is a good knife. Dude, what's gonna happen is that squirrel or pack rat's gonna come walking in through here like this. He's gonna see the moose jerky. And if it's a pack rat, he's gonna climb up on this stick. If it's a squirrel, he'll probably get right here and try to pull that jerky off that leather. And when he does that, ouch. And remember, this is strictly for survival. Deadfall traps like this are illegal in almost every place in the United States. So don't go catching the neighbor's cat in it.
It was in just such a survival situation, far to the north, that Laramie used a primitive trap of a different design to catch a meal to carry him through the day.
See, if you look in there, there's a little piece of meat attached to the top of the trigger. He's gonna see that and say, oh, there's dinner. He's gonna go in there to grab it, and it's gonna trip that trigger. The branch is gonna swing back, pull this out from underneath, and it's gonna squish it. So like this. Voila! Looks like something was hungry. What do we got here? We got a mud-seasoned red squirrel. It's gonna be red squirrel pancakes tonight.
It's not a jungle out there, it's a diner. Tonight, though, there will be no pancakes, no syrup, and no butter out here in the wilderness. In the mountains, you take what your traps give you, even when it's just a blackbird. Revenge. It's said to be best eaten cold, but crow should be eaten warm, roasted the mountain man way. It's a diet we're all obliged to sample from time to time.
Well, there's not a whole lot of sign around here, and this trap hasn't been tripped. It's been here 2 days, so I'm gonna find a better, more productive area to put it. I can see it from here. We got something. Look at that thing. You can see he's been eating. Looks like porcupine. I bet he's got a porcupine quill right here in his head. Look at that. Porcupine quill. They're one of the only animals that'll actually eat a porcupine. The only other thing I know of is a mountain lion. Things are pretty. And from what I hear, I don't know a lot about fisher cats, but it's like a baby Wolverine on steroids. That is cool.
Cool and terribly ferocious, called weejack by the native people, known to kill Canada lynx twice its size, with a bite as strong as the trap that catches it. At the very least, Laramie now has the makings of a fine backwoods cap. Even with that one empty trap, Laramie is building for a good day for his sets.
Yeah, buddy. Got a live one in the trap. Now we got to take care of him. Oh, look at that. Just imagine that latching onto your leg.
The wild animal master builder, and one of the greatest challenges for the trapper.
Got a live one in the trap. Now we got to take care of him.
It's the Sasquatch way. Hard, but fair.
Not a huge beaver, but a pelt's a pelt. It's a good sign. That's just the first set, and I already got one beaver in the trap. Hopefully we got more brown gold. A little Sasquatch-made bridge.
The Sasquatch way. Never easy, and never without potential pitfalls.
them. You know, that's a nice thing about these conibear traps. You got a leg hold, that animal's still alive, he's thrashing around, he can damage his pelt. These conibear traps are instant death. So this beaver's a lot bigger too. Look at that, that's trapping at its finest. Look at them chompers, imagine that latching onto your leg. Wouldn't feel too good.
And their teeth that never stop growing.
Well, no luck on this set, but this way it goes. I'll take 2 beavers in a day. That'll work for me. You know, some days you can go 2, 3, 4 days being in a good spot like this where there's a lot of beaver sign and never catch one.